Yeah, we're on. Aloha, everyone. Uncle Charlie here with Brother Mel. And it's so good to be with all of you on this Aloha Friday, the 7th of May. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know I'm a little darker. Uh, that's just a natural phenomenon. I'm a darker person than Uncle Mel. And uh, thank you. But as a Kanaka, I better be darker. If not, something is wrong with me. But
What's
hey,
up, everybody? It's Feel Good Friday. We got an awesome show tonight, guys. I will tell you, and we're going to chat a little bit about something. But tonight, anyway, next week, guys. Next week, free travel between islands with the vaccine. I just posted California. They busted a bar selling vaccine cards for $20. uh, Charlie, did you remember anybody talking about that recently? Maybe on
yeah,
our show.
yeah,
Maybe you and I.
yeah. Mhm.
No, 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 no. I don't think anybody's gonna do that. No, I just trust people. People are good. They're not gonna do that. It's Feel Good Friday, guys. But I had to get that off my chest. Charles, what's up, buddy?
Well, I wanted to kind of bring something up that caught my attention that I felt was like noteworthy, and I don't know if our viewers will enjoy this, but maybe it's something to ponder over, think about. And it has to do with the recent news today by one of our government officials. And somebody said, "Hey, just name them." Yes, please share. If you can right now, please share, 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 share. But some had said, "Uncle, just name them." I said, "No." My daddy told me if I got nothing nice to say, don't say it all. But I'm going to talk about the situation, but I'm just not going to name the person. But hey, you know what? You guys know who it is. So what the heck? But I still not going to name them. But anyway, here's the situation. Today on the news, a public official said that it is likely, okay, it is likely, it's more than likely, herd immunity will be achieved by 10 states, Hawaii being one. So they got nine others. So the question I had was, when we talk about herd immunity based on the vaccinations, right? We vaccinate the greater population. Our demographics in the middle of the sea is we are a vacation destination. So that number that we achieve to get to herd immunity, that number is constantly changing. I don't know, you know, if that bubble number, it can't be just numbers. It has to be people actually protected. It's constantly shifting, right? So if people are going to come here from nine other states that achieve herd immunity, how do you know what states are coming here to participate in our herd immunity? Or are we bringing one infectious, infective, infectious herd to infect our herd? Who knows? But I don't get it. And then, like you said, in a few days, in a few short days, we're going to be wide open. So here's the question: does that protective bubble, because we have it here, resort bubbles, right? And we know with certainty that nobody can come out of the resort bubble without a test, right? So
Mhm.
that's a protective way. But we are eliminating those tests. So if Hawaii is like a bubble, aren't we inserting our bubble with maybe something that's not right? I mean, that's the question.
Well, it's very, very clear. It again, Charlie, and maybe it's because of the investigative minds and the way we look into things, but it's very easy to go out and say things. Just say things. Just go out and say nice things, make everything seem like it's okay. We're going to reach herd immunity. Um, and the guy that said that is the same guy that said, "No worry, nobody going to falsify vaccine cards." It's the same guy. But as you said, Charlie, if you had a pen or a kennel
Yeah,
of 100 goats
right.
and you got all your goats vaccinated, but you sold 20 goats to the market and you bought 20 from an unknown location, somebody sold you 20 more. So you put 20 more goats in your herd or your flock.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if those new goats are carrying any type of disease.
Right.
Those people are allowed to mingle with the other goats, and the other goats that are not immunized or not well catches the virus. We are dealing with 25,000 new inventory of visitors coming in every day, rotating amongst our population. So to make a statement that we're going to reach herd immunity when every single day we're dealing with 20,000 and climbing new inventory of people in our state. How in the heck can you make a claim that we're going to reach herd immunity when we cannot, mathematically impossible to vaccinate all our 95% of our people, because the chunk of people population that cannot get a vaccine, I'm not talking about the ones that don't want to, I'm talking about the ones that cannot, the young kids and the ones that are have medical conditions that prevent them from getting the shots. If you take that out of the population count, then you cannot reach 95%. Even if you on a perfect day you couldn't. So number one, I agree with the feds that are saying that we cannot, herd immunity going to be almost unable to reach. But we dealing with a rotating stock of people, of humans, of carriers, and then add in the fake vaccine cards. Add in those guys that are sick and traveling. Add in those, even if you agree with the 5% of vaccinated people that it doesn't work on. Add that in and bring them into Hawaii every single day. Come on, man. Let's go, guys. Let's be real. Anyway, that was our
Well,
rant.
well, one last thing is when you got places like South Korea and Japan, and they're very strict about their quarantine. They're still strict. They haven't relaxed it at all. And yet, when they achieve their so-called herd immunity, they're pretty much like Israel. They're dealing with a group that's within this bubble that doesn't shift a lot. Because how many people can just walk into uh, Israel and say, "I've been vaccinated," and Israel will say, "Good," and
Yeah.
that's what they're going to say. Good, and is there anything else you want to say before we tell you bye bye? You know, stuff like that. It's just
Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we got a very, we talk about a lot of people. I'm bringing him in right now. His name is Justin Shanks. I think many of you may know him and may not. But Mr. Shanks, oh, I hope he's coming in. Yep, there we go. A very, we talk about a lot of people. You gotta lower your volume, Justin. You gotta lower your volume on that separate device. But Mr. There you go.
All right.
What's up? What's up, bro?
How's it? How's it, brother Mel, Charlie?
oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Happy Feel Good Friday.
Feel Good Friday, Feel Good Friday. Tonight's is really interesting. I was thinking about it, Justin. I said, you come from, by the way, this is Justin Shanks, right in the beautiful valley out there in Kapaya. It's a beautiful place, bro. Look at that. That's a true background, Charlie. It's not that fake stuff that we use. That is real.
Oh,
No
oh,
green
yeah.
screen here.
But
Yeah.
I
It's
just
nice.
wanted to share with the public, our viewers, that oftentimes we have people come on the show and we talk about we got to get away from tourism. We gotta diversify our economy. We gotta do all of these things. And I was thinking about it. Justin Shanks came from the visitor industry, from the tourism industry. Um, One of the companies impacted by, and I'll let you share your story, but I just wanted to put the segue in that uh, impacted by COVID, and decided to go try something different, and the doggone thing worked out. So, how do you eat an elephant, Charlie? How do you eat an elephant?
Slowly.
One
One bite
bite,
at a time.
one bite at a time. So, if we are to diversify our economy, it's going to take one farmer at a time. So, with that, Justin, mahalo again. That's Uncle Charlie. Uh, Share us your little story real quick, bro, and then we'll just jam and have some fun.
All right. Thank you
Oh,
guys
by
for
the way,
having me.
hang on before.
Yep.
Share.
Yeah, guys, press that button right now. Press that button right now because it's gonna be fun, guys. I can promise you. All right. So
All
go ahead,
right.
Justin.
Yeah. So I was in the visitor industry. I graduated a long time ago, 20 years ago or something. UH Manoa with tourism, my degree in tourism, and then came back to Kauai. And this was around 2008, had the recession and stuff, and started working at Keeper Ranch Adventures, which I'd been working there for a long time. Best tour on the island. Got to go check them out. They open right now. But yeah, I worked there for many years. I was the operations manager there. And I also bounced at Rob's and Cafe Portofino's, two other awesome, amazing places. I was blessed to be able to have three jobs and single parents. So I was working a lot and spread thin and pretty tired and not that healthy. And then all of a sudden, Corona hit and I had to take on break. All my jobs had shut down for a little while. So first couple months, I just slept. I drank a lot, relaxed, did the opposite of what I was doing, working all the time and stuff. I rested. After a while, it got pretty boring. So I wanted to learn how to grow plants. I like to eat a lot, and I didn't have a lot of money coming in. So I was thinking maybe I should start growing my own food and saved up some money. So I went Home Depot, bought all the fancy stuff to grow some plants to eat. A month later, I couldn't grow anything. Nothing popped up. So it was terrible. So I went on YouTube, watched all the videos, learned how to grow some plants, grew eggplant, tomatoes, beans. My dad is also, he's a farmer from back in the day. So he had some experience and he taught me a lot of stuff. And so I grew beans, tomatoes, eggplants, started selling a little bit, but realized I never have that much produce. And I would run out, I'd grow all this stuff and then I wouldn't have for a couple months. So I said, oh, my friends were telling me about this program, Go Farm. They said, go check it out. They teach you how to farm. You don't have to know anything. So I said, I'll go check it out. And, when I looked into it, I said, maybe I should try and be a farmer for a living. And I look on, try and learn about it. It takes about five to $10,000 to start a small farm. So I never really like spend that money. It's a pandemic. I don't know I don't know if I was gonna even be a farmer or what. So the Go Farm program was only like $200 or $300. It was a few months. So I said I'll go try that out. And it was really fun. I went to it. There's about 10 or 15 other people in the class. They teach you the basics, how to make trays, how to plant plants. You guys grow stuff together. Eventually, you're growing a few 100 pounds of cabbage, few 100 pounds of tomato, feeling stoked. And then they give you your own plot. You get 5 100-foot beds. You get to use all their fertilizers, their tractors, all their tools, it's worth a lot. It's really valuable if you don't have to buy all your own stuff and you can use that. So we did the 500-foot beds, and then part of the program, if you want to move to the next part of the program, is you have to sell these CSA boxes, which is like a box of a variety of vegetables. And Mel, thank you very much for buying my vegetables. You the man.
Oh,
Thank you for supporting small farmers. And so the first week we had to sell all our boxes, and I said, oh, I don't know if I know anybody gonna buy all these vegetables. Well, we post stuff online. By the drive home, I'd sell out. I never even make them home yet. So I said, wow, this is really fun. So next 7 weeks, we sell out every week. Really cool. Just recently, I graduated that program, and my farm coach's name is Eric Hansen. I think maybe he couldn't make it tonight, but I just wanted to throw it out there. Eric Hansen. He's the farm coach there. You can contact him on Facebook, but he was really good. And I just recently graduated, my friend Guy Gonzalez. So we got our certificate. And then next part of the program, they give us this eighth of an acre. We lease it for $50 a month. And we just get to grow whatever we like. And we get to sell vegetables now because we graduated the course. So it's really cool. I feel like a year ago, I had never really grown a plant before. I didn't know anything about gardening or farming, and here I am a year later, hundreds of pounds of vegetables. I get to feed all my family and friends, and in the meantime, I met a lot of new farmers, people in different areas of the industry. So a lot of my friends, I didn't know they have chickens with eggs, and they needed vegetables. So I would trade them my vegetables for eggs, and really cool, a good way to be part of the community, and also a good way to do something that's not you don't have to be packed in a room with a bunch of people. We're out on the farm. We're spaced out. We're learning together. It's only 1 day a week, so it was really fun. And then I kind of sad that program is I graduated, so now I just have my little garden at home here. So I just work on that. But yeah, I'm excited. Once our next plot opens up, we're gonna start growing a lot more vegetables, and I hope a lot more people sign up. They are starting up a new class soon. It's only a couple $100, $200-300, and thousands of pounds of vegetables. Meet new people in a good environment, and being from someone that was definitely dependent on the visitor industry, it's nice to have alternative. If
Mhm.
because it's not the first time something like this happened. Everyone said, "Oh, this is the first time," but Y2K kind of like the industry kind of went down a little bit. 2008 when I graduated, I came back. Industry wasn't doing so well, visitor industry. So I think really good to have that safety net, that fallback, where we don't have to 100% depend on tourists every year, because sometimes it's gonna go up and down. So it was really cool to have that fallback, and then now I can eat clean food out of my garden every day, and a lot less stressed out now, not working three jobs, and so it's really cool. Also, being a single parent, my kids doing distance learning. I have a lot of friends that are single parents, and this farm program was great because it was only on Saturday, it was 1 day a week. The online part was only in the evening, so I was able to do distance learning with my kids, and I was able to do the farming and gardening at the same time. So really cool. And right now that the tourism has picked up, I still have my kids, and I'm not able to work my old jobs yet. And so it's really cool that I can still garden and farm, and still feed my kids, and have a little bit of income.
How is it? I wanted to ask this question because I see your passion and I know you're motivating a lot of people just by looking at the thread that's coming across. And there are some people that are involved in programs, like we feed the needy, and the CSA, the boxes you talk about comes in handy. I mean, with the food bank and everybody getting on board, they're always looking to push out great amounts of vegetables, especially to our needy folks
Yeah,
all
and
over our cokunas. So my question is this: when you farm and what you've learned, um, did they actually show you like sort of like a business plan to help? Maybe if you're going to get it onto a larger scale, now we're going to have to think about how we bumper the crops so you don't run out of crops. You're
yes, good.
back and all that. Do they show you
Yes.
all of that as well?
Good, great question. Yes, they did. We actually had business. We had professors, teachers from different islands teach us the business plans. So we learned how to write business plans.
Right.
Part of the thing I was talking about was I would grow vegetables, and then all of a sudden would be all fall harvest, and I wouldn't have for a couple months. In the program, they teach you succession planting, so you get to learn how long each one takes to harvest, how to plant so that you continually have something to harvest, so you don't run out, and the customers can continue to come to you. And that was the other thing that really cool that I learned about was you talked about feeding the needy, and that was a big part of why I wanted to do this. I think nobody should be hungry on Kauai. We have so much land here, and it is really easy to grow food. It was a lot easier than I thought when I first started this, and you don't need a lot of fancy equipment. But I think it would be really cool to get like a lot of these organizations together, like the Go Farm program, and hook them up with Food Bank and Feed the Need and all those guys, because I feel like there's just like a lot of farmers, they know how to grow and they produce a lot of food, but we're just not connected as well to be able to connect it to the customers or the people that can use it. And there are a lot of grants out there right now, at that people can get, and that could be part of the program. Is you could get a grant and help feed these people and give them really cool jobs and stuff like that. So I
Well,
definitely
one
see opportunity for that.
one program that I'm just interested by looking at some of these, and my wife is on. She was part of the Farm to School program with First Lady Don Ige, and they promoted that a couple years ago. And I think Waimea High School, they went in and they kind of built up their program, you know, the agriculture program. And I think something like this would be really worthwhile for farmers like yourself that can be put together with sort of like a hub, because there's many state entities like hospitals that can use fresh grown produce instead of having to bring frozen stuff in. I think
Right,
that
right.
was the key, is to get everything as fresh as possible. And the only way you're gonna do it is by growing it ourselves here and what
Right.
you're doing. So I
Yeah.
think that's a really good thing.
Yeah,
And
and I really think we can do it. We can, all us people, if we get more farmers, we can grow healthy, clean food and support our island. It's a lot easier and it's a lot healthier and cleaner, than shipping in all this stuff and no pollution to ship it over, no, grow your own vegetables, no packaging, none of that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of benefits to it, all
mhm.
around for sure.
Hey, Justin, what is the name of the program again?
It's called Go Farm.
Yeah, I just want the
Go
people, because
Farm. Yeah.
a
So
lot of people are thinking it was Grove Farm, but it's
yes,
Go.
yeah, yeah. A lot of people say that they think it's Grow Farm, but this is a separate. It's actually a part of the Kauai Community College. I think it's like an extension thing. But yes, Go Farm, KCC, and the farm coach. If you want to contact him, his name is Eric Hansen, EricHansen, and he's also on Facebook and a lot of good information. I know they are starting up a new cohort right now, so now's a great time if you're interested to contact him and get in touch with him. And really accessible. He's a really cool
Screenshot,
teacher.
screenshot, screenshot, guys.
Yep.
You know,
Oh,
uh,
Ian at the end.
oh,
Ian.
sorry,
And
sorry.
Sorry. Get one
Check
Eric
this out. Check
Hansen
this out.
ON is why it's on different brother.
Oh, hang on.
you
Watch this.
know,
Watch this.
in,
Watch
in
this.
in talking about helping, when we did the farm to school program, what we found was going in there and just seeing kids, supposed to be nutritional meals, but basically it was like, open with a can, reheat them. And so the day we did the program, when the first lady came, she participated in getting, we teamed up with Kauai Shrimp, and we made shrimp tacos for the kids that
Oh,
they never
cool.
had that before. And they were surprised at the amount of, the kids, they have their little meal thing where they scan it through, they pay for their meal through the year. And usually a lot of kids, they bring in their own food. But that day it was just sold out. All the kids ate because it was something new. And I think what you're talking about is an idea that should even be expounded more, so we can get all the schools on board so our kids
Totally.
can have fresh food every single day.
Yes, our kids should be eating that good food. I also volunteer at Aikamali'i Preschool. They have an awesome garden there. And we started growing vegetables over there. And the kids tell, wow, look at this broccoli. This is where it comes from. This is what the plant looks like. They get to pickle. That's some of the coolest part. And then when I see the kids, my daughter, she's a real picky eater, but she loves carrots. So she go out in the garden, pull out the carrot, wash them off, eat them. And that's so awesome to see that. And a year ago, before this whole Corona thing, I worked so much and everything I ate came out of a can or 7-Eleven, and I really wasn't healthy. Since Corona started, I haven't been sick once since then, and that's a lot of thing people don't talk about with this whole pandemic thing. That's one of the best things you can do is eat healthy, and keep your body healthy and your immunity up and all of that. So um, yeah, really, really good way to do that. And our kids should be eating that good food. Shouldn't be out of one can and all that. Especially when we live on an island called the Garden Island. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
really.
if you
Yeah.
get only a little bit space of dirt, you can put one papaya tree. If anybody get questions, you can contact me on Facebook, whatever. I help you guys out, but you really don't need any special tools. If you get 1 square foot of dirt, you could grow food for a little bit of food for you and your family. So
Well, I learned one thing, and that is never plant a papaya tree next to the line that leads to your toilet, because over time it will break that line.
So I made the same mistake. I plant all kinds of stuff over here, papaya, ulu tree, everything, and I was blessed to be able to work with Godwin Isaki at Kapa'a Banana Company. So he come to my yard. He's like, "Oh my gosh, you plant avocado and ulu, that can bust up all your septic tank, everything." I go, "Oh shoot!" So I go cut that out. So Yeah. That's good tips for me because I'm kind of like a Johnny Appleseed kind of planter where I like plant 500 things in my little yard, and
Yeah.
I think maybe some of that might have to get transplanted later or moved.
I had a couple of questions. You do raised garden beds or in the ground planting?
I have raised garden beds. Most of the stuff we were doing with the program was in the ground planting. And yeah, it's pretty cool. There's different methods now, like I wanted to go more towards organic and healthy as much as possible. So like pretty cool methods you can use now. Instead of using Roundup, you can tarp the area, which kills everything and germinates the seeds and kills it. So you pull that off, everything's gone. You don't have to use any poisons or Roundup. And then I use a lot of compost. Basically it's just chipped up mulch that breaks down. I put that in, and I plant in that, and I get really good stuff in that. When we were doing the KCC program, the Go Farm program was more traditional, where you till it, you put in your fish meal, your fertilizers. But they also let you grow organically over there. It was just more of a traditional way of farming, where you till and you spray and stuff like that. So it was really cool to learn both ways to do things, so you have different tools in the tool belt. But for me, I really want to feed my family and friends, and I want them to have healthy food. And I have friends that have gotten sick at young ages, cancer and things like that. And I think a really big part of that is the way we're eating. And so really cool if we can just change it up a little. And a lot of people are surprised I farm now, because a year ago, if you asked me if I like eat vegetables, I would tell you, no, I don't like eat that. That's the food that my food eats. Or I'm a vegetarian, I'm a meatitarian, I don't eat that kind. But now it's pretty cool. I still eat meat and junk food, but now instead of driving up 7-Eleven to go grab snacks, I just go pick some beans, fry them up with some bacon fat, so a little bit of compromise there, a little bit healthier, yeah. But
Justin, early on in the pandemic, we saw a lot of money coming from the federal government. It was going into organizations that were putting these boxes together, and they were giving away boxes to the public and all. And so you were hitting two goals, right? You were feeding the needy, and you were supporting our local farmers.
right.
Imagine if it was a state mandate that all of our state hospitals and schools were required to purchase their vegetables from local farmers.
That
Imagine
would
if
be
that was the mandate that,
that would be amazing. That's
you
what
know,
it should be.
because right now, you went through a program, and uh, but it's difficult if you don't have a market that's all year round to sustain the amount of farmers we need to truly diversify from tourism or any other industry. But if you had that demand, and if the demand was mandated, that yes, it's going to cost a little more, obviously, because you're not buying them from the mainland. Uh, but can you imagine how many people like yourself would get into farming because the need was there? KCC got this awesome program. I'm so happy that you shared that, man. I just met Justin not long ago to pick up the vegetables that Patsy
Yeah,
bought. That
only a
when
few
we
weeks
started
ago.
talking, that short meeting ended up being a long time, and I learned a lot from this guy. But imagine if there was that demand because the state mandated it, and all of a sudden, all of our schools would have local produce, all of our hospitals would have local produce.
That would be great. That would be great. And everyone says, oh, it might cost a little more to do that, but the external cost of buying cheap food is disease, sickness. It costs a lot more later in life. So I think to spend a couple dollars extra to eat healthy now and have our kids eat healthy would save us a lot of money in the end. So but it
You
would be
know,
cool if there was a demand. I think one of the issues with a lot of the small farmers is a lot of us love to grow stuff, but we don't know if we can sell. Luckily, I have a big mouth, and I have an awesome girlfriend that's very supportive, and I network on social media. But I think that's one of the things I heard from a lot of my classmates was it's a little intimidating because they like to grow, but they don't know if they can sell it, and if you can't sell it, you can't pay the bills and make a business out of it. So if they had a mandate like that, that would encourage so much more people to start farming, and supporting each other's families and each other instead of like these big corporations. So
you know
yeah, I
where
think that would be a great thing. We should push for that.
I think where you could start, and it wouldn't take much. And you talked about it when you introduced yourself. You have a certificate that kind of like is the gold standard if you want to talk about someone going through a program, learning about this, And if anybody knows anything, it's almost like the placard system you see in the restaurants, right?
Yeah.
You got a green placard. That means you're good to go. You can go in there and eat and not worry about nothing. I think from a farmer's perspective, if you have that graduation certificate telling people that you went through this extensive class and all of these instructors came through to teach you about your business plan, not only about farming, methods of farming, different ways of, putting your product out there, as well as marketing.
Right.
I think that would be a selling point in and of itself, and maybe that's the route to take to see if the state would recognize that those who actually went to a farming class and got credits for it through the University of Hawaii system or something similar to that, that they could be put on just like a dashboard that says, "Hey, in this area, these are all the farmers that graduated. Look
Yeah,
them up."
yeah,
Yeah,
qualified
something like
farmers.
that.
Yeah, and
Right.
and that was the great thing about the program was it opened up a lot of doors for me. Before I did the Go Farm, I actually did try to go to like Grow Farm to go get a lease. I applied for a lease and wrote this little business plan and everything. And of course, they never called me back. And I talked to all these other farmers. I tell them, "Oh, I like be one farmer. I like work with you guys." They go, "Yeah, yeah, whatever." All of a sudden, I finish this Go Farm program. I get my certificate. A lot of doors open up. People willing to invest, people willing to farm, people willing to give land to farm out. Like it really has been a blessing all the way around, getting all these opportunities. So and yeah, it's a great way to support your friends and families, that are doing this kind of thing around you. And you'd be surprised how much people get gardens and chicken and stuff like that. So if we're gonna get it anyway, we might as well get it from our friends and families, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, there's no excuse. We have a lot of farmers. One thing the pandemic did do is identify a lot of the farmers. Tomorrow morning, Patsy and I will go down to Puhi, to the Puhi Park, to the Grow Farm, Sunshine Market. They got a heck of a bunch of good, fresh vegetables over there.
They
I think
do. I
more
love
local.
it there.
Oh man, I tell you, we're taking my mother-in-law tomorrow for the first time. She's gonna blow her mind. And of course, got to stop at Koi Kimchi, get Hanale Taro over there. I mean, there's a lot of all local grown, local stuff. So we're gonna be there tomorrow morning. But a lot of farmers, there's a lot of people that I had no idea. I can imagine some of your friends that found out, Justin, that you now are a farmer. They must
They
be
they,
freaking out, bro.
they freak out. They crack up.
Because you graduated UH, you coming straight out of a visitor industry, tourism industry, and I mean, that's kind of a major shift from being, in that industry to now farming, which is not an easy industry in today's world, simply for the reasons that you talked about, the supply and demand. You know, I got a raised garden bed outside that our first three plantings did extremely well, and I don't know what happened this last one. It got attacked by something, and and my mother-in-law was just talking today. In fact, she goes, "Oh, you're so lucky that you only do this as a hobby. Imagine if you relied on this for your income." And it kind of hit me right there. Like, you invest, these hundreds and hundreds of $1,000s for your farm. You got your crops in the ground. You got a whatever. You get hit with a disease or you get hit with weather, and your crop is gone. Wow, that's
Right.
difficult. And that's so
And that
difficult.
happens. Yeah, that
I
happens a
know.
lot. Yeah.
So it's not an
And
easy industry, but I can tell you that you're inspiring a lot of people right now just to consider it, and maybe go take a look at the Go Farm program at KCC. I
yeah, it
might
was
of course.
yeah, it was a huge leap of faith. I had zero experience, like this pandemic. I mean, even though a lot of negative stuff happened, the one positive thing is it opened up time for me to try this new thing that I actually wanted to do for a long time, but I couldn't give up an income to go do it. And now that I know I can make an income doing it, and I can bless my friends and families with good food. That's awesome. And I still don't know if I can do it full time and make a living, but I do know at this point, I can definitely make an income, and that was part of the thing that the program like really gave us confidence in, is because that was part of it. You got to sell the vegetables. You calculate your inputs of what it took to grow it, what you made from it, and so it really broke it down into numbers. And I think for a lot of farmers, they just want to grow and sell. And if you don't do the numbers, eventually you can get into a pretty big debt without realizing it. So I think that was really good for me to do that as part of the program. And I hope a lot of other people do it too. Pretty much almost everybody get more experience growing stuff than me. But you look at my Facebook, because of the program and trying it out, it grew a lot of nice vegetables, a lot of good food. So definitely. And they are signing up here soon. So yeah, if you and know anybody thinking about it, for sure check it out. And if you're not gonna sign up for the program, anybody get questions can always contact me on Facebook. You too, Mel. I come to your house, I check out your garden, help you out, whatever. All good.
Let me ask you a question. One thing that we hear all the time is about how to allow the ground. When you do so many plantings, they have a period that everything goes down, right? To let the, I guess, nature has its way with the soil that you work with. Do you folks also go through that period of time where you don't do any planting for a bit of time to let the I guess the soil just rejuvenate itself?
Yeah, you can do that. I guess they call it letting it go fallow.
Yeah.
But it's really good for doing that because sometimes when you grow vegetables, a lot of pests, they start to establish a whole colony there. And
Hmm.
if you don't clear it out, they kind of just stay there forever. So sometimes if you take everything out and then just let it go fallow a little while, the pests kind of leave, find something else to eat. They also did teach us about, rotating different crops. Certain crops take out all the nutrients. So it's good to grow a different kind of crop after that absorbs different nutrients to kind of bring the soil back. And one of the big cool things I learned in the program was something called cover cropping. So it's like after you harvest all your crops, you grow this plant which you're not going to harvest or eat, but later you're going to till that into the ground, and that's going to bring back the nutrients. And so that's really cool for bringing nutrients back into the soil without using fertilizer. And it also keeps the weeds from growing back over there because you have a plant that it cannot come back in. So yeah, it is good to do that sometimes. My home garden here though, I just kind of grow whatever and then hope for the best. So we lose some plants, that's okay. We just plant something else after.
Right on. Right on.
Hey, now we're gonna get to the questions, the technical questions. Slugs and snails. What's the best way to get rid of them?
Oh my gosh, I think you would know more than me, Mel. I'm not sure. They're taking over my garden over here. I after you told me to go look for them at night, I've been going out with my flashlight at night, and then I just grab them and throw them in the river. But yeah, I don't know. Like at my garden over here, I don't really use any pesticides or anything. So yeah, not too sure. But at the KCC, the Go Farm program, we would make these little slug traps. So it's like a beer can with some beer in it, yeah, and you lay them sideways, and then they crawl inside and drown inside. But I don't know if the snails would do that too because they get the big shells. I don't know if they can fit
I
inside
think
or
a lot
not.
of people they still use the rock salt. They throw the
Yeah,
salt on first.
I've heard rock salt is good. Salt is good for kill 'em. I also heard making a border with sand or eggshells might help because they cannot cross over that. Yeah, but
Yeah, eggshells work. The beer, I use an organic slug bait that I found at Ace Hardware, or True Value, whatever it's called, and they work really well because they devastated my first. I had no clue what I told you the story, Justin, and I was just blown away when my brother told me go out at night and shine the light. It was amazing how many of those things were out. So the um, the slug bait, organic slug bait, they have all kinds. You can find them on Amazon as well, but they work pretty good. But someone told me you just crack eggshells and cover your crop or your dirt with your garden bed with eggshells, and they will not go over the eggshells. So
yeah, I think I'm gonna try that because they like my salad mixes. They like to eat it all up, so I'm gonna just put one little eggshells inside and see if that work or not.
yeah, someone's asking me the name of my slug bait. Honestly, do not. It's outside. I can go get it later and send it to you. I can't remember the name, but it was very inexpensive and it worked. It
It's
worked.
called Slug Be Gone. That's what it's called. Slug Be Gone.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Or salt works, but salt kind of cruel because they burn. They
yeah,
melt.
Yeah,
But
but good to get rid of them slugs. You don't want that rat lungworm. You know what I mean? That's not
Buddy,
fun.
I know
So
we got viewers from the Big Island that have that problem. That's a big problem over there. So, um, but the
yeah,
slug
and that
bait,
that
good.
was another cool thing in that program too. We learned is like really how to clean vegetables properly. You know, like to make
Mhm.
sure that you're not getting sick when you eat your stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's the other beautiful thing about growing your own stuff because you know where it came from. You know where it came from. It came from your
yeah,
yard or your garden or your
yeah.
farm, and you know you don't have to worry about where did this come from? Where from a foreign country or did it come from? You know, you just
Right. And what kind of
grow on.
chemicals are sprayed on it and what's in it, you know, and how did it get shipped over here, you know, is it clean? So yeah, it is really cool to know that where your food came from, what got put into it, you know, and you can give it to your kids and know that it's healthy for them. That's really neat.
Johnny Gordines, who farms flowers, tropical flowers, says salt can damage the soil. So be
Mm.
careful with the salt, guys. Be careful with the salt.
I don't know. You know, when you have this, is it, that's true. But you know, like though, especially in Kahuku, you know, those turf farms, they grow that seashore paspalum, right? And because in places like Georgia, the grass actually grow in salt water. You know, 44,000 parts per million. I mean, the salinity is so high, but the thing thrive on that stuff. And I see some golf courses that they actually throw salt because they don't want to use any pesticides. And it causes the worms to come up, and then the birds in the early morning come and eat the worms. Instead of having to use any poison, they just throw rock salt on the fairways and all, and it just naturally brings the worms out, and the birds will all eat them in the morning. So I guess there's all different methods, but I think with the subject that we're talking about tonight, I can see if we can somehow get it established that these hardworking individuals who graduated from a accredited course, I believe the course is accredited. It has to be at the UH system. That that deserves some type of placard and that deserves some type of dashboard to put them all on, so people can actually go down the list and start picking out. Oh, he lives in my area. They can put Justin Shanks and you just put Kapaya, and the person said,
Right.
"Hey, I give him business that I buy vegetables, but he's right around the corner, cheap. I'll go tap into his connection, or tap
Right.
into his line." So I think that would be a really win-win for everybody. So it sounds like.
Totally. And there are a lot of other farmers that have graduated this program, you know, that I would have probably never heard about if not for doing this program. So that would be really cool to have a resource like that where you could be, you know, instead of it's especially guys that's not, you know, if you gotta find something, you could look online and be like, oh, I need this. Oh, get this farmer right down the road. I can just go grab this from him instead of going Costco or wherever else they would have went, you know. So
Right.
yeah.
Johnny said wood chips and sawdust helps. The slugs and the snails do not like to crawl on those things. So tell how beautiful this
Well,
format.
I don't know.
See, we're
No,
already
I
learning.
I heard one time I saw on Slug and looked like he had a small mini chainsaw with him and had a lot of sawdust behind him. I don't know.
Those things are pains in the ocoles, man. Pains in the ocoles.
Man, you know what? I did too. My garden over here, I did cardboard with compost and wood chips. And those slugs that climb all over them wood chips and eat all my salad and all my beans. So I must get the special slugs. These buggers no mine.
Yeah,
Oh my.
yeah. The chickens have found because the worms, Charlie. You talked about the
Yeah.
earthworms. My bed is choke worms inside, which is a good thing,
Yes.
right? When I just said redo the soil a couple weeks ago, and I put in a new soil and rotate all the dirt and move them around. Um, oh, the amazing amount of earthworms, but the damn chickens figured it out. So now
Oh, and then dig up
I,
your garden.
oh my God, I am so angry. So I got to go get chicken wire now and go put them around the bed because these knuckleheads are coming in
Yeah.
and eating because they're digging for the worms because we have
Yeah.
so many worms. Jeez.
And they're gonna like your vegetables too. You know what I heard though, like regarding slugs and stuff, is that ducks is really good to have because they eat all the slugs and they don't eat all your vegetables. And they
Really?
don't really, yeah, and they don't really dig up like how the chickens dig up and stuff. Yeah, so Yeah, chickens we don't really like on the farm. We chase them away, but I have heard that ducks is good, and then like animals for controlling the weeds too. I heard that sheep are really good because like goats they eat everything, yeah, but the sheep I guess is more particular about what they eat. So, but yeah, there's natural ways to control it. Like that I think that ducks is kind of a good idea. I might try to get
Well, I think
a
no
couple
tell
ducks.
Patsy, but I think I'm gonna pick up. I cannot ask her because she's gonna say no. So I just gonna get the ducks,
Yeah,
and then
better
when she
to ask for
comes,
forgiveness than for
exactly,
permission. Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
But you got to make sure you get the right duck because ducks get the webbed feet, right?
Yeah,
The ducks without the webbed feet, that's not good because they're called chickens. You don't want you don't want the webbed feet.
I definitely gonna try that. But no tell. Shh, do not.
Yeah,
None of you
yeah,
tell Patsy, all right? Because
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think she's watching. But
Now let me
oh, they're
ask you
cute.
about
They're cute. Oh, there she's watching.
oh, let me
Um,
ask you, Justin, about vertical farming. You know, I hear that term used a lot. Is that something that's done on a large scale or do you know if small farmers are doing vertical farming?
I've heard it's done on a large scale. I don't I know some friends that do like one of my aunties, Auntie Susie, she does those garden towers.
Okay.
And so yeah, that's really neat. And it's like a tower and then get little pukas and you can plant inside that and then you get tons of vegetables. But I think that's really neat for if you have limited amount of space, you know, if you have a smaller yard or even if you live
Mhm.
apartment with a patio, that'd be a really cool way to take more advantage of
Mhm.
your growing space. But I did hear in places like Israel and countries like that that they do a lot of vertical farming on a large scale. But I think a lot of that is hydroponic and they use a lot of like high tech stuff. Yeah. Me, I'm going more towards small scale farming kind, you know, and
Yeah.
I like learn everything. I would love to learn big scale farming too, but you know, my passion is small scale organic farming as much as possible. Yeah. So,
I think the hydroponics very attractive. That's something that I think maybe when I eventually retire, that's might be something I would love to try. The hydroponics, but it always just amazed me how they do that just with liquid, no dirt, and
right,
nutrients
right.
all put in. And my dad, he's so cute. He said, "Hey, if the ducks don't work, you can eat them."
Right, right.
That's
It's a
right.
win-win situation. Either you get
Exactly.
slugs or duck meat. Either way.
Too bad you cannot eat the slugs like escargot. Like why can't they just have slugs that you can eat?
Oh,
You gotta
escargot.
you gotta farm raise them this one. That's the only way. You gotta
Huh?
you gotta farm raise the slug to keep them clean. You know the inside, the innards, because
Yeah, I
escargot
know,
that's how
I know, but
You know, if you guys like slugs, you can come to my house. You can take all the slugs you like. No problem, guys.
I think if you get the slugs and you filter them in a controlled environment and let them flush their system with clean water and all of that, then it might be okay.
Oh, that's prawns, Mel. That's not slugs. That's prawns.
Yeah, Samoan crab.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome, man. I tell you, I'm so excited, man. I remember when our stuff first started growing, and then when you eat them, it's just so cool. And I know a lot of people, and you know this, Justin. We spoke about this when the pandemic started. A lot of people were home; they didn't work. Everybody decided to go try out farming and gardening, and you couldn't get supplies, you couldn't get
Right.
pots, you couldn't get dirt, you couldn't get anything.
I couldn't find potting soil. I couldn't find no pots, nothing. I was like, good Lord.
Gone. I mean, it was you couldn't buy them, you couldn't find them, and uh and now it's back to kind of normal where you can actually find. I think a lot of people ended up going back to work
Mhm.
and not able to maintain the garden. So, but it's an awesome stress relief. Do you talk to your plants?
Oh, I talk to them all the time. I sing
Yeah.
to them. It's very good stress reliever. It's you know, I'd be out there, no stress, no worries. Could be dumping rain. I don't care. I just loving being out there in the garden and seeing the plants grow and uh and progress, you know. And when I first started, it was a lot of stuff was hard, but you know, some of the easy stuff was like beans was super easy to grow, chard, basil. So if you guys looking for when like people looking for an easy plant to start off with, that beans is really easy, stuff
Kale.
like that.
Kale.
Kale was really easy.
I actually believe kale is a weed.
Yeah, yeah.
So that
That's
thing
the
grows
best
like
kind of
a
stuff to grow. The weed kind of stuff. Kalo, sweet potato, You
Yeah.
accidentally lawnmower a sweet potato, he come right back up. It's all good.
Yeah, yeah, but the low maintenance stuff. If you're starting off, to me, to build the confidence, because if you go out with some tough things to grow and the thing doesn't grow, it dies or whatever, then you get defeated. So go
Yeah,
with the stuff that going to grow, like you said, the beans, the chard, all of those big leafy vegetables. They're very very low maintenance. Very
right.
very.
And you can pick couple and then it grows right back. So it's continually, you have food continually throughout the week. It's not one of those things where you harvest and then pow for a couple months, you got to replant. So yeah, chard, kale, basil is awesome. You can harvest every few days or every week if you like.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are awesome.
You know what you can do too is, I was just thinking about it because my cousin used to own, I don't know if you heard of the Strawberry Connection in Honolulu. She started off by buying a few boxes of strawberries, and it was high-end strawberries, and she would, bring them in from wherever, and restaurants like Roy's and like Alan Wong's, they would buy it, especially, and then they would ask for like baby vegetables because everything had to be plated, right? It had to have a nice
Right.
presentation.
Yeah.
I was thinking, if you work out a relationship with someone who wants to buy your product, he may just tell you, you know what, I'm only interested in this. Can you grow me as much as you can? And I think that would save you a lot of headache because it's a targeted product. He might say, hey, I want nothing but cauliflower. Can you grow me
Right.
cauliflower?
Right.
And
And
he
that
just grow cauliflower.
Yeah, and that would be a lot easier. One of the things we did for the KCC thing was those CSA boxes. But in the meantime, you gotta grow like eight different vegetables a week and clean and harvest, and it would be a lot easier to just have one single crop or a couple of different crops and just sell those in bulk to one buyer. Would be a lot simpler,
And
selling them.
the thing about it too, if you can form a hui, you might grow the broccoli or cauliflower. Somebody might grow the
Right,
lettuce.
totally.
And so get everybody involved and everybody get to share in the pie,
And I think that's what we should do. We should form huis like that, where we all share. We grow different stuff. We share the selling of the stuff. Same with the equipment. I don't feel like every small farmer should have to spend $5,000 to $10,000 for a tractor they're going to only use once every few months. It would be good for have one group of guys that invest together or whatever, or pay a fee to be a part of that, and then
and
work it out
they,
that way.
they pay for it, like say they might come to you and say, hey, we all compa, we all chip in like
Yeah,
$100 or
yeah,
like $50 a month. You store the equipment. All
right.
we have to is maintain the equipment. And if we need them, we
Yeah,
we figure out a way to come get them from you, and then we bring them
yeah.
back to you, stuff like that.
Totally, totally. And me and some of my classmates have talked about that, and as we graduated the program, me and my friend Guy Gonzalez, we started a company called Bounty of Kauai. Kind of sound like County of Kauai, but different. Bounty of Kauai, yeah. But yeah, and that's one of the things we want to do. We have been talking to different restaurant owners here on the island, and we've had meetings. They've agreed to buy certain vegetables from us, but before I really start selling to them, I want to make sure I have a consistent supply so that they come to me and they don't eventually have to go to someone else and find me buyer. I want to be the guy. So I just want to be consistent when I do start doing that. But yeah, I have talked to different restaurants. I got really good feedback. You guys want to get into farming. A lot of restaurants want to do farm to table, but there's just not, they don't know enough people that are selling it. But
Yeah.
I've gotten really good response. Almost every restaurant owner I talk to, Portofino's, Rob's, J2, really responsive, really about farm to table and selling Kauai goods. It's just that they can't get the amount of stuff that they need, or they don't know the people. And so, like you said, would be really good if we had those resources where we could find those people over here. We could connect the restaurants and the farmers and all a little bit better. Yeah.
Yeah, those high-end restaurants, the consistency is paramount. I mean, you cannot have different tastes on your food. You got to have consistency, and I think that's kind of the problem. And we had farmers on our show, and that was kind of the issue, where you got to get a commitment that that product is going to be guaranteed.
Yeah.
And I think the Hui idea, community gardens all over. In fact, in on the mainland, in those cities that are so dense that they have rooftop community farms where
Right.
you get a parcel that's your parcel, and you go out there and you farm that, and I wish we had more of that. I wish we had more, even if it's subsidized by the government, whether it's the state or the county, that we got the Kilauea farm out there, but I talk about community farms where most guys cannot go out tomorrow and go farm 5 acres. I mean, there's no way. But I could have a community farm of 5,000, 10,000 square feet. Like you
Right.
said, 1 square foot of soil can grow a lot of food,
Right.
believe it or
Yeah.
not.
And a community garden would be great. I see so many areas here in Lihui that are just like empty plots of grass that would be amazing community gardens that would be really accessible for people to get to and farm at, And one of the things, like as I started farming, a lot of people were like, "Oh, can I come visit your farm? Can I farm with you? Can I learn how to grow plants?" A lot of people are interested in farming. They just don't have a place to do it, or like that the access to it. And so I think, yeah, community garden would be great. A lot of people would turn out for that, like and right now it's weird. A lot of people wanted to go check out the KCC farm, but because of the pandemic, we weren't allowed to have groups of people and things like that. But I think normally pre-pandemic times they would have like schools come over and learn how to do farming, and you could have people like your kids or whatever come over. But it's just a little bit different times right now. Yeah, this year. But a
You
community
know,
garden would be amazing. People could be outdoors and socially distanced and still be together and do something as a community and provide food for each other. Yeah.
one concept that I think talking along these lines, and I wanted to share. My wife and a group of people would hold the Oktoberfest every year at the Waimea, the field. They give away the pumpkins and all that. But they made it very clear that we'll bring in all these nonprofits to come in to sell their products. And it's almost like the farming when we talked about that. If one person took one certain crop, because what they did under the Big Ten to sell their products is no two people can sell hamburgers.
Mm-hmm.
No two people can sell barbecue chicken. If you do barbecue chicken, the first one that put their name on the list, they get the right to barbecue chicken. The next person get loco moco. So each had a different, and that's how they would sell out every year. It's just by that. And so we knew that if there were more than one selling the same product, they wouldn't sell out.
Yeah.
There's no way they would
And
sell
and
out.
that's the problem for a lot of farmers is they all growing the same stuff, yeah. And so like it's like 50 people trying to sell eggplants to the same person, So that can be a little challenging. And that was the cool thing about doing the Go Farm program is you grow 20 different types of crops. So you know what you like growing, what you don't like growing, what grows well in Hawaii, what can sell, what people liked, what they didn't like. I would bring the bags. People would be like, "Oh, I don't like this kind of vegetables," or they would be, "Oh, I want this one every week." So one of the things I made sure to do too when I started was like not try grow the same stuff everybody else was growing too. Actually got to grow cantaloupes. I grew
Oh,
watermelons, zucchinis, all kind of different stuff. A really cool experience. Some stuff I know I don't want to grow again because the thing is just too high maintenance. But some stuff was really cool. Cantaloupes was really neat. And that's something you don't see all the time. So
what's the length of the community college? The courses that you took there. So if somebody's interested to like follow in your footsteps, what are you talking about as time commitment for KCC? How long is the program?
Well, the first part, there was like an orientation where we went for one day and they just kind of talk about the program is. Then later on, you go and then I think it was like the main part of the program I just did was I think it was about 8 months or 7 months. Like I said, I'm a single parent. I got my kids pretty much 7 days a week, so I thought it would be challenging to do it, but it wasn't because it's on Saturday. It's like 8 to 2. So
Mm.
luckily I had my girlfriend and my mom helping me watch my kids, and then they do have an online Zoom class, which was every Thursday, and it was from like 6 to 8, and you could do that from home. So I was able to feed my kids dinner and still do the class at the same time. So it really, I mean, 8 months, it feels like a long time, but it sounds like a long time, but it wasn't. It flew by so quick. I wish the thing wasn't over right now. I wish I had a couple more months in it. It flew by so quick. But Really neat. Like I said, I applied for a grow farm before. They just never even give me a call. Now that I have this certificate, I've been told that it's a lot easier to get applications for leases, a lot easier to get a loan, things like that if you wanted to do that in the future. So yeah, I think it's great for just getting credibility and showing that you're really passionate about it and you're willing to put in the work, to be a real farmer.
Yeah. Again, farming, I think Johnny just said it best. Farming is not an occupation, it's a lifestyle. You know
Yeah,
this, Justin, your dad, you come from a farming family, so it's like cowboys, it's a lifestyle. A lot of most people don't get rich doing it, but you gotta love what you do, and it's a good thing.
totally,
So,
totally.
yeah.
Farming, gardening, I would do all that stuff even if it wasn't making any money. I would still be doing that for fun. I love it.
Well, you can eat, you grow what you eat, you're gonna have
Yeah,
food. Really, that's all
eat
you
like a
need.
pig.
And ducks. You gotta remember the ducks.
Yes, yes.
Gotta have ducks. I
Well,
get.
I give you credit because I can't grow nothing for nothing. But someone gave me a chili pepper tree, and I just religiously watered it every day. And they gave me 8 chili peppers that I got, and I'm so
There you
proud.
go.
There you go. It's a
You can
start.
do it.
That's the one, man.
The chili pepper farmer, Charlie.
Yep. There
Charlie.
you go.
Charlie's Chilies. How's that, Charlie?
Charlie,
There you go. There you go.
Or Charlie's Kanaka Chilies. Whoo, the Hawaiian pepper. Son of a gun.
guaranteed to burn the mouth.
Hey, Justin, you got a Facebook page. It's Justin Shanks.
Yes.
Guys, go ahead and
Yeah.
jump on his page tonight. When you have your vegetables, your produce that you're selling, do you put it out on your page?
I do, yeah. So that's pretty much mostly how I connect with my people is I post all my vegetables or whatever on my page, and then you guys can just message me if you wanna order any vegetables, or if you just have questions, just call, just ask. It's all good. I like to encourage other people to farm and garden and help them out, and I get plenty time on my hands. I'm not working right now, so yeah, definitely. I encourage everybody to start gardening, get rid of the grass in your yard, tear them out, just grow some food over there. They tell the average I forget what they said, the average American spend like 10, $15,000 on food a year. So if you just grew a lot of your own food, you can take half the year off, you guys.
You guys go ahead and jump on his page, follow him. If you guys got any questions, or I just saw someone who runs a resort or a condo. There's a lot of people on the show right now that are interested in purchasing products. So go to Justin's page, like it, and just be on the lookout. And I'm gonna tell you, man, that the vegetables that he raises good stuff. We bought a couple of those boxes, and it's just so much better. Fresh and local is so much better. It's just
So good, that thing it come out the garden bed couple hours before you get them. Like you cannot
Mm,
get fresher than that. And all
yeah.
clean, organically grown, organic methods. So
Well,
yeah, thank you very much.
I foresee within the next couple weeks, some people just may get up in touch with you to discuss some of the ideas that we've been discussing tonight. Because I saw them on the thread, and some people in certain places that are on a larger scale that they would very much entertain what we've been talking about, especially on the specialty produce here locally. That if they can commit that you can just grow one particular um, batch of vegetables for them, just like one type. That would be, but getting maybe a hui together that maybe they can grow several different types, but each person takes one and does it well and grows it in the bulk that is needed. I think that'll be the payoff for your group. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I encourage anyone contact me. I definitely have been working with a lot of big farmers and small farmers, and I would really love to connect, everybody, because I know people that are doing really good things on their farms that I think they just got to get in touch with the right people. So yeah, I
Mhm.
would love it. Definitely contact me or Eric Hansen or whoever, and definitely can help you guys, help anybody out for sure.
Okay.
Right on, Justin. Thanks for joining us tonight. Charlie, any closing thoughts?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to our guests. It was, number one, I'm not a farmer, But to get even as jazzed as I was just listening to what you went through, I know that feeling. It was almost like um, when I went into the police recruit class back in the 80s, you know, you think you're never gonna make it, but then when you graduate, it's like, wow, it's like, you
Bro,
know,
it
a whole
was the
new world.
coolest
Yeah,
feeling. You know, you do
right.
something you think you cannot do, and you know,
Exactly.
especially being out of college for like almost 20 years now, I think, oh, maybe I not can learn anymore. You know, and really cool way to get back into school, learn something new,
Right.
and you know, this. I never grew a plant before a year ago, and now it's all I can talk about is gardening and farming. You know, I
So, you
love
know,
it. So
to our viewers, I mean, this is living proof. We've had them on tonight, and I can't thank you enough, Justin. And you know, to our viewers, I just hope and pray that the one key component that we talked about is how can we provide for ourselves? Because this pandemic, what is it's shown is that even with we talk about it all the time, safety, safety, safety. Despite what some others have said that seems very, very dangerous, as long as we can control the end result with us by being
yes,
safe, so is with our food security. And that is if we grow our own food or if we can get it so fresh that we don't have to depend abroad and we can have it here in our backyards, that would be the way to go. It might cost a little bit more, but hey, at least you know it's a nutritional value, put it that way. So thank you very, very much, Justin, for joining us. Mel,
mahalo, you guys. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Happy Feel Good Friday, you guys. Enjoy your
Yeah, thank you,
weekend.
man. We needed this. We needed this. This feel good Friday. We had a rough week, and we just want to support local farmers, local businesses. Justin Shanks is his page. Just follow him. If you have a question, message him on Facebook. That is the best way.
mhm.
Make sure you guys do that tonight. Justin, I hope you continue. The program's name is Go Farm at KCC, Core Community College. If you're interested, again, if you have any questions, fire Charlie, myself, or Justin. We can send you in the right direction, guys. We appreciate you guys so much. Justin, again, God bless. Stay safe. We'll see you guys Monday night, 7 o'clock.
Yep.
Okay, God
Hey,
bless
if
you
you guys
guys.
don't
Aloha.
be at Puhi Park tomorrow, come check me out. I'll be grinding.
Okay, yeah. I'll come by tomorrow. I see you over there.
I'll be there, bro. Take care. God
Okay,
bless.
okay.
God bless.
Aloha.
Good night.